The concept of the best song is subjective, but a hit is just based on the numbers. In this video, we'll look at the best hit song of each year from 2010 to 2015 in my opinion. 2010, Rolling in the Deep by Adele. In 2010, the pop landscape was dominated by upbeat electro-pop and dance floor hits like Katy Perry's California Girls and Kesha's TikTok. Amidst all that, Adele's Rolling in the Deep was a surprising hit. Released at the tail end of the year in November, the single marked a shift back towards soul-infused, emotionally raw ballads. It became Adele's first #1 hit in the US, topping the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks, and going on to win Record of the Year and Song of the Year at the 2012 Grammys. It sold over 8 million digital copies in the US alone, making it one of the best-selling singles of all time. It was more than just a commercial hit, as it was one of the most critically acclaimed songs that stood out in a pop landscape oversaturated by electropop. 2011, We Found Love by Rihanna featuring Calvin Harris. 2011 was the year pop music dove headfirst into high-energy EDM. David Guetta, LMFAO, and Swedish House Mafia were reshaping top 40 radio. We Found Love, Rihanna's massive collaboration with Calvin Harris, redefined that wave. Released in September 2011, the song's drop and catchy hook became instantly iconic. The song spent 10 consecutive weeks on #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming Rihanna's longest-running chart topper, and Calvin Harris's breakout in the US, with over 10 million units sold globally. It is now sitting on more than 2.1 billion streams on Spotify. The song exemplifies the highs of the early 2010s EDM craze. It was released with a music video that shows the highs and lows of a toxic relationship, and in a year obsessed with build-ups and beat-drops, Rihanna delivered the best song of the year. 2012, Adorn by Miguel. By 2012, pop music was saturated with maximalist sounds. EDM and dubstep had taken over, and collaborations were everywhere. But in this backdrop, Miguel's Adorn was a breath of fresh air. Drawing inspiration from Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing, its smooth R&B sound offers something intimate and seductive in a sea of club hits. Released as the lead single from Kaleidoscope Dream, a very underrated album, it quietly became a defining track of that year. Adorn peaked at number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100, but reigned supreme on the Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart, spending 4 weeks on #1. It also won the Best R&B Song at the 2013 Grammys. What made Adorn so impactful was its restraint, a sparse beat, layered vocals, and a focus on pure melody. It is a timeless song that stood out from that era. 2013, Mirrors by Justin Timberlake. 2013 saw pop music trying to mature. Artists like Lorde and Lana Del Rey were shifting expectations, and Justin Timberlake returned after a 7-year hiatus with the 2020 Experience, an amazing pop soul album. Mirrors, the album's second single, was a grand 8-minute ballad that felt both nostalgic and fresh. With its orchestral strings and sweet romantic lyrics, it stood out from the club-ready hits dominating the airwaves. The song was a massive success, peaking at #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topping charts around the globe. It was certified 2 times platinum in the US and became one of JT's most iconic hits. 2014, Blank Space by Taylor Swift. By 2014, Taylor Swift had officially transitioned from country star to full-fledged pop star with the release of 1989. The album leaned into synth-pop and 80s influences, and Blank Space, its second single, was a masterpiece, a satirical song about the media's portrayal of Taylor as a serial dater that goes in and out of relationships. It is still her best hit in my opinion. Blank Space hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and held the position for 7 weeks. It became one of the biggest songs of 2014, as its crisp production and catchy chorus made sure it gets stuck in your head for days and days. The song was more than a hit, it was a game changer that proved Taylor could become a legendary artist. 2015, Alright by Kendrick Lamar. In a year dominated by tropical sound, Kendrick Lamar's Alright was an outlier that became a generational anthem. Released as a 4th single from his critically acclaimed album To Pimp a Butterfly, Alright fused jazz, funk, and conscious hip-hop into a politically charged statement that went on to be chanted at rallies. Produced by Pharrell Williams and Soundwave, the song combined lyrical mastery with amazing instrumentation, in contrast to the escapist sound of many 2015 hits, like Justin Bieber's What Do You Mean or Major Laser's Need On. Alright became one of the biggest lasting hits from that era. The song reached number 81 on the Billboard Hot 100, but its influence is way bigger than its chart peak. It went on to win 2 Grammy Awards and was nominated for Song of the Year. Its accompanying music video, a black and white visual masterpiece, was also nominated for Video of the Year at the VMAs. In the sonic landscape of the mid-2010s, Kendrick delivered something rare, an all-time classic. 2016, Into You by Ariana Grande. 2016 was dominated by Caribbean and dancehall sounds, but the best hit from that era in my opinion is Into You by Ariana Grande. It was the year's most flawless execution of pop perfection. Released as the second single from her third studio album Dangerous Woman, it opens with a whisper and escalates into a synth-driven climax. Into You slowly climbed up the charts and peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and eventually became one of Ariana's most beloved fan favorites. Though it wasn't her highest charting hit from that era, it was widely recognized as one of her most perfect songs. It has since accumulated over 1.6 billion streams on Spotify and remains a staple in her live performances. In a year when the charts leaned heavily into tropical house and hip-hop, Into You reminded you of the best of the late 2000s electropop, but a refined version of it. 2017, Slide by Calvin Harris featuring Frank Ocean and Migos. By 2017, music was living in a post-genre world. Hip-hop had taken over and was blending into pop and electronic music, and no song better encapsulated that fusion than Calvin Harris's Slide, featuring the dreamy voice of Frank Ocean and the ad-libs of Migos. It was a really vibey song from Calvin Harris's underrated album Funk Wave Bounces Volume 1. It feels like you're soaking in the sun in a green field when you listen to it. Slide debuted at number 34 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became a sleeper hit and earning massive radio rotation and sitting on 1.1 billion Spotify streams to date. The collaboration was unexpected. Frank Ocean was known for his reclusiveness, and Migos were at the height of their trap era, but the chemistry worked somehow. 2018, Sicko Mode by Travis Scott. In 2018, mainstream hip-hop was at an all-time high. The genre had fully taken over, dominating the Billboard charts with artists like Drake, Cardi B, and Post Malone all dropping huge hits. Within that climate, Sicko Mode became a defining hit with multiple beat switches. It was a sonic roller coaster, a bold risk that paid off commercially and critically. It debuted at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, before climbing to number 1, becoming Travis's first chart-topping single. Featuring verses from Drake, it didn't sound like anything on the radio at the time. It changed the hit song formula and became a huge streaming juggernaut, earning over 2.3 billion Spotify streams to date. Beyond the numbers, Sicko Mode was a real moment, redefining what a rap single could sound like. 2019, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. By 2019, pop music was being influenced by the sound of the 1980s, synth-heavy productions and retro aesthetics making a full comeback across genres. No artist channeled that energy more successfully than The Weeknd on Blinding Lights. Released in late 2019, the song would go on to dominate the next 2 years and become one of the most successful singles of all time. Blinding Lights peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and broke the all-time record for the most weeks spent on the chart. It was an instant classic that never gets old. Produced by legend Max Martin, the song became a streaming juggernaut, accumulating over 4.8 billion Spotify streams. It is now the most played song of all time. It was the perfect bridge between retro and modern, helping usher in a full wave of 80s inspired pop that would go on to define the early 2020s. 2020, Physical by Dua Lipa. 2020 was a weird year, with the pandemic affecting new music releases, but Dua Lipa's future nostalgia was a real highlight from the year. While the album produced multiple hits like Don't Start Now and Levitating, it was Physical that most perfectly captured the year's mood, a blend of dance pop and retro energy, which made it an underrated masterpiece. It was an escape at a moment when the world was going into lockdown. Physical wasn't that big of a hit in the US, peaking at number 60 on the Billboard Hot 100, but it became a massive international hit, reaching the top 10 in over 20 countries and peaking at number 3 in the UK. Despite modest chart placement, Physical grew into a fan favorite. It showed that pop could still be fun, as its amazing energy helped solidify Future Nostalgia as a defining album of the year and confirmed Dua Lipa as the leader of 2020's pop. 2021, Dja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo. The popular sound of 2021 was heavily influenced by the rise of Gen Z pop and the pop-punk revival, driven by artists like Olivia Rodrigo. Dja Vu, released on April 1, 2021, served as a powerful follow-up to her record-breaking debut Driver's License. The song showed her ability to craft emotionally charged narratives in a mainstream pop song. It peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and accumulated close to 2 billion streams globally, solidifying Olivia as the breakout star of the year. Its success was further boosted by its amazing video, which got a Grammy nomination for Best Music Video. The song explored the bittersweet pain of seeing an ex-partner move on and recreate your memories with someone new. Its bridge in particular was praised for its lyrical cleverness and dramatic build, becoming a viral moment across social media. 2022, Cuff It by Beyonce. 2022 had a resurgence of disco, funk, and house elements in pop and R&B, largely fueled by artists like Beyonce wanting to take over the dance floor. There was a movement of embracing nostalgic sounds. Beyonce's Cuff It from her critically acclaimed 7th studio album Renaissance was released in July 29, 2022. It became a slow-burning anthem of the year. Despite not being an official single at first, its organic rise was powered by massive social media virality, particularly on TikTok, where its infectious groove made it a big hit. It eventually peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topped multiple R&B and dance charts worldwide, becoming one of the most streamed songs from the album, accumulating 900 million Spotify streams. The song's origins are deeply embedded in the disco and funk influences that Beyonce was trying to reclaim on Renaissance. Its retro-futuristic sound was a celebration that defined the year. 2023, What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. The popular sound of 2023 saw a return to a more introspective, stripped-back sound. While pop continued to evolve, there was a clear lean towards authenticity, moving away from the more maximalist sounds. Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For, released on July 13, 2023, as part of the soundtrack for the highly anticipated Barbie movie, became a huge ballad. It quickly shot up the charts, peaking at number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topping the UK singles chart, becoming a cultural phenomenon far beyond the film. The song earned Billie and Phineas 2 Grammy Awards, including Song of the Year and an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Its delicate piano production and Billie's soft, breathy vocals made it a lasting hit. 2024, Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. The year 2024 was defined by variety, where different types of sounds were popping at the same time. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars's Die With a Smile, released on August 16, 2024, became the biggest hit of the year, as it became an instant classic. The song peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the UK singles chart. It also won the Grammy for Best Pop Duo Group Performance. In less than a year since its release, it has already accumulated 2.6 billion streams on Spotify. The song's impact extends beyond numbers, as it became the defining song of the year and a crowning achievement for 2 of the biggest legends in pop music. Die With a Smile is undoubtedly the best hit song to come out in recent years, and it is already a classic. 2025, Manchild by Sabrina Carpenter. The musical landscape of 2025 has been a mixed bag, so far dominated by catchy hooks and low-key production. Sabrina Carpenter's Manchild, released on June 5, 2025, as the lead single from her already controversial upcoming album Man's Best Friend, became an instant success. It shot straight to number 1, debuting at the top on the Billboard Hot 100 and UK singles chart. The song's country-infused pop sound is infectious, and in my opinion, it is the best hit song released this year so far. What is your list of the best hit song of each year? Tell me in the comments below.